Good evening, Atlanta, and welcome back to the intersection with Noel White and Mr. Soccer himself, Jason Longshore. It is Thursday, and we are back, but not at 10 because the Braves are in town. Jason, what is going on?
And been everywhere this week, all over the state of Georgia. It's high school soccer, state quarterfinals, now the semifinals tonight. Was down in Fayetteville earlier today. Was up in Dalton on Tuesday. All over everywhere. And then I'm going to Chicago tomorrow with Atlanta United.
Yeah, no, when I saw you on Tuesday, I was like, oh, we're in a hotel room. Oh, it's Atlanta soccer tonight on the go.
It was on the go after a really good game up in Dalton, Soccer Town, USA. Huge crowd, really cool game with them in St. Pius. Dalton got the win, so the Catamounts move on. They are trying to go through like the private school gauntlet. I've never
Mm,
seen this happen in a bracket. So they beat Pace Academy,
okay,
they beat St. Pius, they
okay.
play Westminster in the semifinal tomorrow night. And if they win that, then they're going to play the winner of Marist or Blessed Trinity in the other semifinal.
Yeah, these are all the top
The
private schools.
private
Like,
school gauntlet. Dalton's got to
yeah,
try to
like
go through.
they're slaying the dragons. It's like Anthony Edwards right now in the NBA playoffs, just slaying dragons. It's insane.
What
Shout out
what
to
is up
Dalton.
with Ant Man right now doing that? Are these
Man,
Timberwolves team? Is this for real?
it's so great to see. Like you saw a taste of it last year going through Kevin Durant, and now it seems like he's determined to take down the rest of that USA Olympic team. Like you took out Jokic on the other side for the Europeans, and now you're determined to take down the rest of your teammates and slay the dragons. You got to beat the man to be the man. And go through the trenches, and that's what they're trying to do right now. I mean, Steph's not on the court right now, and they're definitely taking advantage of it. But
Yep.
man, you love to see it. And
Yeah,
also,
we were talking about hamstring injury for Steph.
yeah,
That's not good at this point of the year because that's not quick.
yeah, you don't have the time to really heal for it. I'm sure he'll be back and do as
He'll
much as
try.
he can do, but it'd be kind of like Trey in that Eastern Conference Finals game when he came back with the tweak ankle. Like
Yep.
you came back because it was that or nothing. So of course you're gonna come back. So
Yeah.
and we're gonna see Steph in a similar situation with this hamstring, and we'll see what Golden State are able to conjure up there. But the Braves were able to conjure up another come from behind win. Jason, they are perfect in extra innings this season. Like how long can that last?
It won't, but this has been a year of streaks for this team. You know, it started bad and then it was really good and then it kind of went bad again. And now it's really good again. They've won 4 out of 5. I mean, is this going to be the life that the Braves have in 2025? Up and down, up and down.
Yeah, we're definitely on the roller coaster, and we've experienced it over there at State Farm. We've experienced across the street at Mercedes-Benz Stadium two ways. We've definitely seen the ups and downs of these teams, and it does seem like the Braves are on that roller coaster. And it also seems like they can't match two things at once right now. It's very
Yeah.
ham, no burger, Kool-Aid, no sugar type deal.
Kool-Aid, no
Peanut,
sugar.
no
That
butter
ain't right.
type deal where you don't have all the pieces at the same time to make a complete meal or snack or drink or whatever it is you're trying to do, because it's like you didn't have any bullpen pitching and now your bullpen looks like the best in baseball, but the starting pitching is a little off, and you get good performances out of your starting pitching, but it's like the bats go cold. It's like this trade-off of issues, but they're managing to pull out these wins. What can we? I mean, and yeah, you're playing teams like the Reds and the Rockies or whatever, but this is the time that you need to run into those teams to build your wins, build your confidence, until you can get two of your juggernauts back.
I guess the thing is I'm kind of waiting to see who this team really is because I don't know yet.
Yeah. We don't. We don't, and it's not just the missing pieces of Strider and Acuna. It's more than that. Is can you guys put together a complete series? Can you guys
Mhm.
build off a complete series? And mostly, can you go get a series off the Dodgers and the Padres? Because right now, you're batting zero in series wins, and you only have one win period. So, yes, the league set you up. I'm gonna say it. They set you up, sending you on that West Coast road trip. But it is what it is, and you came back with what you came back with, and your record against those two teams are what they are, and those are two of the premier teams you're going to have to get through if you really want to show what you could do this season, if you could do anything. So that's what we are right now. To your point, are these the real Braves? Are the Braves tomorrow going to be the real Braves? Were yesterday's Braves the real Braves? Will the real Braves please stand up?
I don't know which one is gonna stand up. That's the thing. I do want to get them healthy and see what it can be when at least. And look, this has been something that I've been talking about with Atlanta United all season long too, because you haven't seen what was intended to be the starting 11 hardly at all for
Right.
Atlanta United.
Exactly.
Even you get into some position groups, you haven't seen certain pairings because of injury issues and all of that. So with the Braves, you want to see what they can be as they were built to be. I don't know exactly if you're going to ever get that. Sometimes you never do. And that's always the frustrating element of it.
Well, or and this part is the worst reality to come to. This might be the team that was built. Like with the money that was had
That's
and,
true.
and what was available to you and the situation with Profar and all of that, minus Acuna and Strider, this just might be the team. And so it's like out of what this is today's team the real team, yesterday's, tomorrow's, next week's, last week's, the beginning of the season, the end of the season when we get there. Who are they yet? We don't know. And I'm thinking maybe that's going to be the part of this season's fun instead of like the runaway season we had the year
Yeah.
before. But in that season, we saw that that doesn't guarantee you playoff
Mhm.
success. We had an amazing regular season, and then okay, it's like, oh, that ended quickly and badly and sucked, and now I have a bad taste in my mouth that I have to take all the way into February, March, April. So we're still trying to figure out what's the right combination of wins and the right time to win and get hot and
Yeah.
all of that good stuff to actually push it into the postseason like you want. But this might be the team we paid for.
I think you got to get Acuna back, and then you'll get a
Gotcha.
better sense. You get him back, and then he's going to need time to get going. So, what you're probably talking. Oh, what is the update on him? I mean, are you talking about a month before we can start to have an idea on him at this point?
Well, from what I saw the other day, they thought there was maybe more of an issue than there was. They said they didn't have to go back to LA to do any more rehab and have anybody look at it. So I'm thinking it sounds like maybe a week or two, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, like maybe he starts going to Gwinnett and really working
Yeah,
out or whatever. Of course, we'll tune into Grant McCauley and we'll get more updates on that. But yeah, I mean, we got to get Acuna back and Strider because that will solidify your starting lineup a
yeah,
bit. And then like some of these coin flip games that we're having will lessen a bit because you have one more stable
yeah,
force to put out there on the mound.
yeah. You would hope so. So I think you're probably what by the end of June, and that's pretty late in terms of where you are. But I don't know if we can really get a good read on who this team is from a big picture standpoint until then, when you've had some time with Acuna and some time with Strider, and you see what you got.
Indeed, indeed. But great win tonight.
Yep.
So we wanted to get into a little bit of what we're calling the art of storytelling. So there were two.
Another Outcast reference.
Exactly. There were two big releases this week. One in the world of soccer and one in the world of women's basketball. We kind of want to break it all down and explain how it's a good showing of the art of storytelling. So Jason, break down this whole Travis Scott Barcelona jersey situation.
Yeah. So what Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world in Spain, they're leading La Liga right now. They have a huge game coming up this weekend with Real Madrid. It's the Clasico. It's one of the biggest games in the world every single year. So, as you know, in soccer, you sell sponsorship on the front of your jersey.
Indeed.
And Barcelona did a deal with Spotify, which is a pretty cool partner to have. And what they do for their Classico games in the league, so in league play, they always have an artist on the front of the shirt. There was some talk a couple months ago that it was going to be Taylor Swift for this one,
Mm,
which would have been really big.
yeah.
I wonder kind of what that would have looked like. I think
Right.
it would have
'Cause I'm
gotten a
thinking
ton
it
of
myself.
attention. It would have been so fascinating in terms of like, and I don't know, like you're talking about not just a Spanish team, a global team. I mean, this is one of the biggest brands in the world, one of the biggest sports franchises in the world. So, but it is based in Spain. Like, would Taylor play that well. And when they announced it was going to be Travis Scott, I was kind of wondering, like, okay, how's this gonna look? Well, it went pretty well. They did about 3,800 jerseys that were available for purchase. So a very limited run with the Cactus Jack logo on the front.
Yeah,
Made $1.7 million in revenue. Sold out in minutes. I think
man.
it worked.
I mean, right now you can pretty much slap Travis Scott on anything, and it's gonna transcend whatever like culture is supposed to be for. Like he's gonna transcend soccer and basketball and a lot of this stuff because for
WWE.
whatever reason he's this huge fashion icon right now. Like he's kind of what Kanye was to like the late 2000s and early 2010s. Like he is the wave that they're all following. So when you put Travis Scott on something, you even see it for Nike. Like you see how it raises the bar of interest and
Hmm.
intrigue. Because I know if I go on StockX right now, I'm gonna find this jersey, and it's
I
gonna
would
be
love to know what it's going for at this
and the
point.
amount is going to be insane. I
Yeah.
might come back from break with an update on that because the it I already know if it's there, the price for it is going to be insane because he commands that kind of attention. And then soccer, to your point, already is this global phenomenon in itself, and you combine
Yeah.
those two things, it's gonna sell out. It's gonna sell out as quick as possible.
I got to ask you one thing about Travis Scott. There's some rumors going around in the WWE universe because he's been showing up a couple of times here and seems to really be digging it. There's a rumor that you're going to set up a tag match some point this summer because another major artist who has already done matches and is itching to do another one, Bad Bunny, set up a tag match. Bad
Mm.
Bunny with someone and Travis Scott with John Cena.
Ooh, that would
Bank.
yeah, that would be fun. There's a lot of crossover you could have there. Like Adidas and Nikes would go crazy with that WWE connection with the big like WrestleMania tag team with them too. Oh man, that would the numbers for that would be insane. The pay-per-view
Oh,
numbers
see,
would be
I
crazy. The
didn't
stream
think
numbers
about
would be
that
crazy.
aspect of it though. See, that's interesting because you could have went with Roman Reigns with Bad
I
Bunny,
was thinking
but
that Roman Reigns
you're
with Bad
talking
Bunny.
Jordan Brand and
True, and
Adidas.
Adidas, true.
So do you want to go there? Do you want to I don't know who if there's an Adidas person in WWE, but do you want to go with somebody
Interesting.
who's not affiliated either one and then try to blow that up?
Interesting.
Yeah, that could
Interesting.
factor in.
Yeah, yeah. I would have to look at that. But yeah, that would definitely do numbers. Our amazing producer Miles here has given us the number on that jersey, and he said right now it is listed for $1,700
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
on the StockX.
I
That's
thought it might be worse.
that's about where that's about where a Travis Scott jersey would range somewhere. I was thinking around 9 to 15.
Oh, last sale
So
was 2,300 though.
that's about right too. That's the one thing I
Yeah,
love about StockX. You can see what the last sale is. And speaking of last sales,
there we go.
Nike had a big release themselves with Asia Wilson. The A1 has finally released the Hyper Pink or the Allure Pink. They gave it like two different pink colorway names. I don't know why. I'm gonna go with Allure Pink. They did a limited release first the other day. They only loaded up 3,000 pairs. I saw that the night before,
Okay,
so
I
I
was
knew it
gonna
was
ask you
gonna
the
be a
number.
limited release. They're saying these shoes sold out in 5 minutes, but they're lying to you. These shoes sold out in 90 seconds. The rest of the time was checkout time. These shoes are already sold out.
Okay.
They were already in people's carts and allocated and done for in 90 seconds. Right? Like they really took their time to slow build this release. And they released a great ad directed by Malia Obama of all people. She's a director now, and they did this great ad with this play on the hand game Miss Mary Matt. And I believe it says something like Asia Wilson's on top and it's never gonna stop. And it kind of goes through like our history in South Carolina. And I think we're on a bus with like her high school basketball team, and we're in her parents' living room, and we're seeing them on her couch, and we're outside in her childhood playground and church. And it was a really great example of using storytelling to sell a product and get people excited for the product. Like there were people up this morning. First of all, there were people upset yelling at our very own Alicia Gray because she got hers months ago and wore hers yesterday in the preseason game. So she was like, good luck to everybody trying to get a pair." Uh, they were all yelling at her when they didn't get a pair. They released again this morning, and once again in the larger sizes, they completely sold out. I'm gonna go up to my local Kids Foot Locker tomorrow and see if they have a pair in stock that I can just pick up and grab out of the store. But if your kids are still looking for a pair, they are available online. But all the men/women sizes are gone. You're gonna have to call Asia or Bam and a bio to get you a pair because Nike doesn't have any. But on the 15th, we get the blue indigo girl and the white pearl.
Mm. I
Yeah.
like these limited runs, and I think it's something that you're starting to see more of these companies do that's smart. And you can test the waters a little bit, and I think you can try some stuff and see what works. And look, if it's limited and it's just okay, cool. It stays limited. Leave it at that. But if it's something that does really well, you can slide some more out the door. You can do a different colorway. You can do a tweak to it and make more bank because that's what it comes back to.
And that's the thing. That's what you're seeing. That they're seeing that these limited runs with maybe some collabs, it builds up excitement and it generates more eyes on your product, and a lot of times it transcends whatever the sport is. A lot of time we do it in the sporting world, like when we do these collabs with Tommy Hilfiger or Polo or Nike or Travis Scott or whatever it is. It usually goes outside of its own intended realm. But before we get out of here, I will say that it was interesting and kind of funny on my part to see non-sneaker people kind of like running around trying to figure out how to get their hands on the Asia Wilsons and being upset that the Asia Wilsons wasn't available and how come they don't have my size, and what do you mean I have to stand in a virtual line? What is a virtual line? Yeah, all of these things were very entertaining to watch you guys go through, and y'all will experience it more this summer and really more as the WNBA goes along, if that's your deal and that's what brought you into the sneaker world in the first place, because more of them are gonna get sneakers.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's a smart play.
100%. So we will be back on the intersection with some deep dives into what's going on with Atlanta United and the Dream as they start preseason. This is the intersection with Jason Longshore and A. Noel White on the Odyssey app and 929 The Game. Welcome back into the intersection with A. Noel White and Jason Longshore. We are still hanging out here in the Kia studios, or maybe the Kia home studios. We are about to get into the good, the bad, the ugly, some headlines, and we're going to start with Atlanta United, who gets a tie against Nashville, and that is an improvement right now. So, Jason, talk to me, explain it to me. Where are we right now? Why is that an improvement? And how can we use this as gas to power the season forward?
It's not good. It's not ugly. It's better than bad. But I don't know exactly how much better because it was a game where you score first. You did not create many chances. And I think what I keep getting hung up on in this game, last 60 minutes of it. So last 15 minutes of the first half, entire second half, you were outshot 9-1 and you had 30% of the ball. And I am a big subscriber. We talk about tactics in sports, and I think soccer is one of the more interesting ones in that you can be really successful and win games. Minnesota United this season, for example, have been really good. They've had less than 40% of the ball on a regular basis. I am a subscriber to the theory that the more of the ball you have, the better of the team you can be. I think your ceiling is higher. I don't like to sit and defend and count on my goalkeeper, count on my back line to keep a team out and then counterattack. I would rather be in control of the game. And if I have the ball, I'm in control of the game. Atlanta lost that because they were really good in the first 20 minutes when they had the ball and they get the goal. And then don't have the ball and you're just holding on and holding on. And it felt inevitable that Nashville was going to get a goal. It took a set piece, but then after that, it took Brad Gazan standing on his head. It was 1-1. It should have been better after the first 20 minutes. But the way the team's been playing, you look at it and you're kind of like, okay, it's something. Is there a building block in there? Honestly, I don't know. They made a big lineup change in terms of Miguel Almiron playing centrally. You can call it a 10. I think I think soccer and basketball are getting like this in that the old school way of calling positions doesn't
Right.
really apply anymore.
Mhm.
Like it's not point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center anymore. Like
Nope.
it's not that simple. And in soccer, like a 10 is not the same. Like Thiago Almada was a 10. He doesn't play the position like Miguel Almiron does when he's in there.
Mhm.
Alexei Moranchuk plays it different. You interpret it differently. And Almiron played it much more like a second forward, higher up the field. So there was a little bit of a almost like an empty bucket kind of feeling in the midfield because you had Moranchuk sit deeper with Mateusz Klich, but there's a lot of space between those two and Latte Lot and Almiron high up the field. It didn't quite work. Can it? Yeah, I think it can. I think Almiron as a second forward isn't a bad idea because you want him to be free to impact the game in the attacking zones, not coming back deep to defend. Okay, cool. You can get him higher up the field. That can work. But you got to keep the ball. You got to have more possession. You got to take some of the pressure off the back line. And just more than anything, where it felt like it turned for me is when Nashville started to press high and really put you under some pressure, the lack of confidence showed again. And I thought they got away from keeping the ball, and it was more of, we can't lose it here, play it long.
Yeah.
And this team's got to be braver with the ball. If they can get there, I think this is still a very talented team that can make some noise. And in MLS, parity is a real thing in this league, and you don't have teams really running away too far from the rest of the pack. You win a couple games, everything changes really fast. Momentum's such a big thing in it. But right now, we have not seen any significant momentum on a regular basis for Atlanta United. So it's got to change. You got 2 games on the road and then back home next weekend. You're into that portion where you're playing a bunch of games in a short period of time. You're going to have to rotate. Sometimes you find things when you have to rotate. You have to go down to that bench and you have to play a kid like Will Riley, who was great in Cincinnati during the international break in March. He should get some minutes here. Luke Brennan might get some minutes on the wing, another player who makes things happen. And I think that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to be brave, take the game by the scruff of the neck, rattle it around a little bit, and make something happen. And that's what I want to see from this team starting this weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, because for them, like the Braves, the big word has been inconsistency, in my opinion. But for Atlanta, it's been more. It's been for Atlanta United, it's been more confidence.
It's been confidence.
Yeah, like they start off well, and they get pushed a little bit or bullied a little bit, and they just kind of fold.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you remember Pee Wee's Playhouse and the word of the day?
yes, yes,
Confidence needs to be the word of the season for Atlanta United. Like we all need to freak out every time somebody says confidence because it's the word, it's the topic, like it's the issue.
yeah.
And man, that's not an easy thing to change.
In my opinion, that's the worst issue to have in sports because you can
Yeah.
have inconsistency and you can have injuries and you can have, but it's the confidence that makes you believe that a certain team or franchise can turn it around. But once you see that lack of confidence, like in my opinion, it's one of the reasons that Jimmy Lake had to be removed as the Falcons defensive coordinator because you would see the defense shrink
Yep.
the more and more that they would get run over and run over and run over, like you would see their confidence shrink. And then now it's like they're non-existent on the field. And a lot of that was coming from, the scheme and the play calling of where what they were getting and them not seeing the success on the field. And I'm not sure if there's something that Ronnie Dyla could be doing to where they could have more ball control and they could just have more opportunity to create. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but
I feel like it's more from the roster itself than Ronnie Dyla. Like I think that's where you get into a difference in how soccer functions a little bit. He has Coaches have limited impact once the whistle blows. Like you set the team up to succeed during the week. You work on things in training. You ask them to do certain things, but the players are in control. Whistle to whistle, the players are controlling it, especially first half. You can change it with some subs. You can talk about it at halftime. Occasionally in games, you get moments where you can call guys over. You send a sub in, you can pass a note, they can run around, tell everybody. Like but the players make the decisions. It's really down to the players. And I feel like you just need a couple of people to step up with bigger personality. Because I look at it, one way you can change a confidence level in a group in soccer is playing with personality. And that can manifest itself in a lot of ways. Like for some guys, playing with personality is going to be getting stuck into a tackle and decking somebody and standing over them and running your mouth a little bit. That can create confidence. Sometimes for some guys, it's going to be nutmegging a player and running past them, pulling off a skill move, making somebody look silly. That can create confidence. Sometimes it's just being consistent and being smart with the ball and not losing it. You think back to Darlington Nagbe during his time with Atlanta United. You felt confident in giving him the ball in any kind of tight spot, and he could find his way out of it. There's so many different ways it can manifest, but you've got to see it manifest one way or another, personality wise, with this team. And does this team turn into a very like hard nosed, hard tackling team? Probably not. Can they turn into a very skillful team that puts teams under a ton of pressure? Yeah, I think they can, and they need to show some of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think their best bet is to really fine tune their finesse style of play.
Be really attack minded.
Right,
Really
right,
lean into what you got.
right. Because you're not going to turn into a brute force kind of team
Nah,
overnight,
you're not
but
built for it.
you are in attacking offensive style of team, and you're just gonna have to figure out how to do that really to the best of your ability right now to kind of right the ship a little bit on this one.
See, I want to get into your wheelhouse a little bit, and we talk about brute force. I got to talk about Brittany Griner's
Let's
screen
do
in
it,
preseason game number 1.
man.
Preseason.
Man, listen. She went out there. She definitely made a statement of what she's about to bring to this team. There's
Yes, she did.
toughness, but there's also finesse. I mean, she went out there and was throwing some people around a little bit. Maybe Kiki got a welcome to the league moment a bit, but like also
Somebody
she
said she
scored
looked
the
like a
first
starfish.
right. But also she had the first 6 points scored off the 3-point line. So you're definitely seeing a lot of her versatility and the other big Brianna Jones coming in here who can also shoot at the top of the key, but also clean up what everybody else is doing down in the post, and get those rebounds and try to get those putback shots and things. So I will say it looked the starting lineup the way I envisioned it looking like when I heard that they were coming in and with this new coach and what style of play he wants to run.
I need to ask you about. I saw it in the news. So you've added a player in off of waivers, but it's almost like another draft pick, Cheyenne
Yeah.
Sellers.
Yeah. So yeah, very interesting situation in the WNB world was kind of when Cheyenne Sellers got cut from the Golden State Valkyrie. Their official statement was so when I initially heard it, right, my immediate thought was maybe there's still issues with her knee because
Okay.
when she was at Maryland, there was I want to say a knee sprain, but she played throughout the tournament. There was no issues there. So I was kind of surprised she was cut, but I thought maybe it could be the knee. But the Valkyrie are saying that she's just not a fit for what they want to do. And when they cut her, I was thinking the rich are probably about to get richer, right? Like the Liberty or the Aces or the Minks or somebody will pick her up and she'll be a sniper shooter for them. And then I get the notification the Dream pick up Cheyenne Sellers off waivers. And I was like, oh, this is, in my opinion, a perfect pickup because they need more shooting. That was one of the things they didn't have last season. There was a lot of standing around last season. There was a lot of playing through the post in Tina Charles last season. And it's kind of a old style of basketball, even for the WNBA. They're kind of moving to more of the 3-point spacing kind of game.
Okay.
And this is what this new coach, Carl Samisko, really wants to do. That's what he was doing at Florida Gulf Coast. And that's what it looked like they were doing yesterday at 11:30 a.m. in Washington. And they got off to a fast start. That first quarter ended 30-10.
It's not easy to get off to a fast start at 11:30 in the morning either.
Not in somebody else's gym, but they
Uh-uh.
did it, and they looked like they had a lot of fun doing it. Alicia Gray was out there clean with her Asia A1s on with the matching pink goggles, and we'll get to that the next segment.
Uh-oh.
Ryan Howard was out there doing Ryan Howard things. Unfortunately, we did have an injury first minute of the game. Jordan Canada went down. It looks like a knee injury, in my opinion. It looked like a non-contact injury.
Mm.
There's no update on that yet that I have seen. So follow me on the socials, Ella __cool 23, and I will try to get you as many updates on that as possible. Megan L. Hall is also a good person to follow. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Megan. Also a
Megan's
good
great.
person
Yes.
to
Happy
follow.
birthday.
if you need WNBA updates, especially with the Dream. But yeah, so an injury there, and that also could open up the door for a Cheyenne Sellers who is a two guard, but she can play some point guard. And if you need somebody to fill in, even though she's a rookie, I think she would be a better fit than a Haley Jones, who, in my opinion, has been playing out of position at guard. I feel like she's more of a forward, or maybe more of a small forward or power forward somewhere in there, but not a point guard.
I'm excited to see this team. Before we go to break, real quick, what's one thing you want to see them be better at through the rest of the preseason?
Ooh, more consistency because they got outscored every other quarter after the first quarter, but they did play less of their starters.
Okay.
But really, I just want to see what these rookies can do and how they can contribute to the team. Because Tahina Pow definitely went out there and ran the floor a little bit, got some shot offs, did exactly what I was expecting her to do and add to this team, which is more shooting. So as the season progressed, we will get more and more updates on what's going on with your Atlanta Dream, and they have their season opener against the Indiana Fever on May 22nd in State Farm Arena.
Just a little game. Just a
Just a
little.
little game. So
Yeah.
we will be back with darts coming up next. Who will me, Jason, and Miles print out and put up on a dartboard and throw things at for doing things that we didn't like? You will find out coming up next on the intersection on the Odyssey app and 929 the game. Welcome back to the intersection with A. Noel White and Jason Longshore. We are hanging out at the bar. It is last call for alcohol, and we are playing darts. Let's see, Jason, who do we want to put up on the dartboard first? Should you go first or I?
You're gonna go first, and just so people understand, at the bar we brought a printer, an old dot matrix printer. We're low budget here on the intersection. All right, it's an old one. We wheeled the thing in on one of those carts, like your substitute teacher would bring the TV in on back in the day. We brought the printer in, we plugged it in. We got to print the picture out dot matrix style to put up on the dartboard.
Yeah. So, who's going on the dartboard is somebody that did something we don't like, and we're going to call it out while we have our last drink at the bar. And
Okay,
so, since I am up first, I am going to print out a Nike logo. There we go.
it takes a minute. It's slow.
It's supposed to be. It's wheeled in on that cart.
A Nike logo. Why are you mad at Nike?
I am going to print out a Nike logo because it is time for Nike to start selling me some Alicia Gray goggles. When are we going to get me the goggles, Nike? She's under your contract, under your supervision. She had the A1s on yesterday at the preseason game with matching pink goggles. I've never even seen Alicia Gray in colored goggles, let alone pink goggles. And they need to be on sale with the AG on the side and like a little goggle logo. And this should be a cart at Gateway Center where you can go purchase your very overly expensive Nike goggles. So we can wear them at the game and cheer on Alicia Gray because it is about the coolest thing I've seen. Between her and Sean Murphy, the goggles are hot in Atlanta.
Huh. Has Nike made goggles?
They make goggles. They make
Okay.
goggles and glasses and all kinds of. I believe she wears Nike goggles. They just
Okay.
won't, slap her name on it and sell them to me. And that's what I'm asking for. I need a Ryan Howard shoe, but we'll save that for another day. And I need Alicia Gray
Yeah, Ryan
goggles.
Howard
That's
needs
what
a
I need.
shoe. Ryan Howard definitely needs a shoe.
Yes, she's with Jordan Brand. She usually wears the Luca. Her media day photo was in a pair of Luca twos, I believe a PE pair. I believe it's a player exclusive. But she usually wears the Luca, but it's time to get her in the Ryan. I need the
Yeah.
Ryan Howard Jordan. I would buy that in a heartbeat. I would buy that faster than I bought the Asia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
will
come on, Nike, get it together.
I will throw some darts at Nike with you. I will join you in solidarity. I don't think I'll pull off the goggles, but I will join you in solidarity and hopefully you can get your goggles.
Yeah, man, come on. You won't give me my diamond turfs because you only make them in men. You won't bring KDs back in kids. At least give me some Alicia Gray sponsored goggles and put a little change in Alicia Gray's pocket. Come on, man. All right,
See,
Jason, what you
I'm not going to put it on the dartboard, but I am kind of unhappy that our boy Trey left Adidas.
got?
Just
Man.
because I and in MLS everything's Adidas. You
Right,
know, it's
exactly.
something. It's a big conversation in MLS because, in a lot of leagues around the world, the league doesn't control all the uniforms. We're used to
Mm,
that in our sports. Like
yeah.
that's typical. In, the Premier League and La Liga, you've got Adidas, you've got Nike, you've got all kinds of competition for spots, and the big teams have the big ones. Some of the smaller teams have smaller companies. In MLS, everybody's Adidas. So I'm all excited because Trey did some colorways that I liked with the Adidas that matched Atlanta United stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, cool, we can do this. Let's see what's going to come next. Oh, there's not going to be anything next because he left.
Yeah, that
Come on.
made me sad. I was really excited for the trade for. Like they got leaked, and then it was like 3 or 4 days later, it was announced that that relationship was over, and I was like, or the rumors were coming out. But the more he started not wearing Adidas, I was like, no. I really wanted to
Yeah.
trade Young for, so my feelings was hurt there. I
Yes,
100% agree with you there, Jason.
my feelings were hurt. I'm not going to throw a logo up. I am going to fire up the printer on this one. And I'll be curious to see. I'm just going to print the picture and put it up on the board, and I'm going to let you fire away or go take the thing down.
Okay, what do we got?
George Pickens.
Oh, I'm gonna leave it on the board.
You're going to leave it on the board.
I'm gonna leave it on the
You're
board.
going to throw some darts.
I'm gonna throw a dart.
Okay.
Because or you know what? I won't even say I won't even throw the dart at George Pickens. I'm gonna throw the dart at the Pittsburgh Steelers because as
Sorry,
long
I'll
as
print. I'll
we
print out a Pittsburgh logo. Hold on.
I'm sorry, man, that printer's probably hot
That
right
printer is smoking right now.
scorching, probably frying egg. I'm gonna throw a dart at this Pittsburgh Steelers because it seems like as long as we've been trying to find a DN, they've had diva receivers. Like receivers that just can't get with the program. And like I'll say maybe only two of them was really that good to not get with the program. Like some people can transcend the program, right? They're above the grand thing of it all. And Antonio Brown did get to that. But the rest of them, it's like, no, you don't, you're not above the program and you're not that great to be this much of a diva. And they've just kind of been a recycling door since Antonio Brown. So maybe we need a new wide receiver scout or a new Wonderlic test for wide receiver compatibility for specifically for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know, but wide receiver is a blind spot. So I'm throwing a dart at the Steelers. Y'all got to find a receiver.
I'm gonna fire up the printer one more time because I'm gonna fire the dart. I'm not gonna throw it at George Pickens. All right, he's a Georgia guy. I'm not gonna throw a dart at my Georgia guy. Okay, y'all knew he was crazy. Like
Indeed.
it's not a surprise. I just printed the Dallas Cowboys logo, and I'm throwing the dart at
That's
them
fair too.
because in 6 weeks it's gonna be something
Their
stupid
problem.
happening. Like, and this is coming. You know.
The Dallas, a lot of Dallas problem is that they won't take the bite of the rebuild. I feel like they've been trying to slap band-aids on this thing since the exit of Tony Romo. Like they won't take the big bite and the big L and just retool it and build it up from the ground. And so we're spending a lot of money. And we're seeing that in our own division with the Saints too. Like the amount of people calling New Orleans delusional, like using the term delusional about their cap situation and what they're able to do with this team has been like the bright spot of my off season. Like I
Yes.
absolutely love it because yeah, you like that's why Sean Payton got out of Dodge to begin with. There's no Drew Brees, there's no money, there's no cap room, and there's very little talent. Yeah, I'm gonna go get in somebody's booth until I can get out of this contract because I'm not going down in flames with y'all. And that's kind of what the Dallas Cowboys are like a really pretty, exciting, bigger version of going down in flames instead of really trying to take the bite and retooling this thing. And we get it. Nobody wants to do it. We kind of accidentally did it with Arthur Smith. We thought we were doing the Band-Aid patch and it wound up being a full rebuild. But I think we're going to come out of it better.
Yes. You're trying to put a Band-Aid on, and you ended up getting the thing infected.
Man, like you didn't put any kind of like alcohol on it
No
or
ointment, none.
iodine rub or any. It was just like
None of that.
cotton
What
and
was the
patch.
stuff that what was the stuff that your mom would break out, that, like, bright red stuff that
Yeah,
looked like
yeah, yeah.
poison?
I thought it was the iodine that they rub on your skin, and you didn't put any of that on it. It's like almost like you
No.
let it air dry.
No, you didn't do anything, and Dallas is doing the same thing, and they go get somebody who's gonna punch somebody in a helmet. It's gonna happen.
It's probably gonna happen in camp. Like you're
It
probably
might
not
be his
even
own
gonna get
teammate.
to. I, Miles is also throwing a dart at he's throwing a dart at George
He's throwing
Pickens.
at Pickens. We got
So
darts
so
there. We
so
took
we
all the
will
boards over.
so we will figure out why Pickens gets the dart in a moment, but but or we will get to Miles Dart in a moment as soon as he lets us know. But yeah, you're right. Like you have enough experience with receivers that are not quite all the way there to
They've been
know
there
that he
before.
was maybe not quite all the way there or not quite what you were looking to bring into your wide receiver room. Like sometimes that's more important than the overall talent.
I love his craziness, just not on my team at this
Yeah,
point.
say on the professional level. Like I
On the
loved it when he
professional
was a
level.
dog. Yeah, that was
Yeah, yeah,
great. But
yeah, yeah.
now,
That was good. That time's done. It's
now
gotten crazier.
it's almost like a worse version of what Tina Pow said about her experience going on the road in her first professional
Oh, that was
game.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, when she was like, it was great not to have to ask permission to leave the hotel room. And it's kind of like what George Pickens is, but in a bad way. Like he doesn't have to ask permission to kind of be a diva or real out. Like he doesn't have to deal with the Kirby of it all of the punishment. It's like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, 100%.
I've been
Re
watching that guy George Pickens since Hoover High School, and talented, but it's always something. It's always something with him. As a dog fan, I've seen him, but yeah. So I got to throw a dart right there at Pickens with y'all. We'll see how it works out.
So we got darts at Pickens, we got darts at the Cowboys, we got darts at the Steelers.
And there's
Look, they
more.
wanted the
There's more.
Saints. What
There's
what
more.
you got, Miles?
So yeah, I'm at the bar. I'm at the bar with you, Jason and Noel. Glad to join y'all. And I just sat down and guess who's next to me? I'm sitting next to Adam Silver, and he wants me to throw his darts for him. So I'm gonna throw
Oh,
Adam
okay.
Silver darts for him.
All right, I
Okay.
gotta fire up the dot matrix. What you need?
Now I need four pictures printed up.
Oh
Okay.
man,
Now,
Let's do it.
this
let me
thing's
do this
gonna
real quick. Now
be
the
done.
first one is LeBron James.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this first dart is at LeBron. Now LeBron, you've been the king, man. You've been the face of the league, but you're getting old, and it's looking like I need to start my preparations to crown someone else. So I need to throw this dart at LeBron because it's looking like father time is coming, man. Got the groin injury, so I need that picture of LeBron up there. I'm throwing a dart at him. My second
I'm
picture I
with
need
you.
you to
I'm
bring
chucking a
up.
dart there too.
I'm also chucking a dart. That's 3 darts for LeBron.
Second dart is for Steph Curry. Now, Steph, you
Oh,
got a lot at stake here. You got a chance to win another title, cement your legacy even more. And honestly, Steph, I believe you have the most to gain from winning another ring than any other player in the playoffs right now. You can
Okay.
stall me out here, Steph. I need this ring from you, Steph. So my second dart's for Steph.
I see. I can't throw that dart because dude's hamstring's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be at his physical limitations, man.
Now
I don't
they say
know.
it weak, but hamstrings at that age is
Ah,
tricky.
it's not a week. It's
Stall
not a
me
week.
out, Steph. Stall me
I
out.
might chuck a rubber band at it because that's about what his hamstring's doing right now.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
throwing a dart
I do
at
agree
Steph.
he has the most to gain, but I'm not
I
I'm
like
not gonna
that.
I'm not gonna throw a dart at him. I'm not gonna throw a dart. All right, what else we got? What else we got,
Okay,
Guru?
my third picture I need printed up. Anthony Edwards, the young king, the
Oh,
legend killer. Second
No.
coming of
oh.
MJ is what they call him. I mean, you got the personality, Ant, to carry this league, just like Mike. But all that's next for you is playoff success. It's hard to be the face of the league and not have anything to show for it. And so, can you get the job done? Elevate your legacy and wear the crown that I think everybody wants to hand to you. My third dart's for Ant.
All right. So what year are we in the Ant-Man NBA experience?
We
Where
are in year 5.
Okay. So it was what year 6? Really 5 that because Jordan missed the year with the injury, missed most of it. Maybe 5, 6. So he's right
Maybe
around that
9.
time that
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you, it's
Yeah.
time
You
to
know
win it.
what? I'm gonna throw the dart at my man Ant because I want to see him get the job done. Go do it. And you know what? I'm gonna throw the dart at Ant, but not even because of Ant, because the Murray's father had a lot to say about Anthony Edwards the other day. And it was basically, is this your king? So you gotta go prove him wrong, man. You can't let a guy whose son ain't been in the playoffs in 3 years, couldn't get my team into the playoffs, come talk about you, dog. So yeah, I'm gonna throw the dart. You gotta go get it done.
All right, last call for alcohol. My last picture, real quick. My next dart, and I think this is everybody's dart right now. Jason Tatum. What happened, man? 12 for 43, 0 points in the fourth quarter, both games at home. I mean, your team, the champions, squandered not one but two 20-point leads at the hands of, I think, a future dartboard replacement, Jalen Brunson, because he might be the new face. But just inexcusable, man, from Jason Tatum. And I'm starting to wonder. And did you guys see this new commercial that aired today, the Superman commercial? I'm
No.
thinking bad timing. So my dart, 4 darts for Jason Tatum.
If he's throwing darts, he'd probably miss.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a dart at Jason Tatum also because what they gonna say now? A lot. We got a lot to say, Jason. Actually, a lot. If I had another segment, I could fill the whole 15 minutes on what I got to say because this is exactly what I thought and who I thought he was as a basketball player.
Ooh,
And I love
Boston, no,
seeing
Noel.
Boston, and I love seeing Boston go down in flames. I
I
never
love
like to see good things for Al Horford at this point, so I love seeing Boston go down in flames. And yeah, keep doing it some more, even though it's against the Knicks, because I don't like either team. But at this point, I'd rather see the Knicks do something now, and then to your point, we'll put Brunson on the board next week.
Yes, you get him next week. Let's go ahead and get Boston out of the way.
Good stuff, Miles. Good stuff. We appreciate you joining us at the bar. Man, got a lot of people on the dartboard today. The Steelers really took a a
That
beating
whole
today. They had
got
a couple
everybody.
darts thrown at
Everybody
them
got
today.
darts.
But I mean, but we can even keep going at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Print me out another one, Jason.
Oh,
Print me out another one.
I don't know if this thing's got any dots
I don't know.
left in
It's
the
gonna
dot
be
matrix.
smoking by the time we leave the bar.
What you
Yeah,
got?
print me out another one. I'm gonna throw a dart at the Steelers again for Aaron Rodgers. We need a new photo just so I can throw
Oh,
another dart for this Aaron Rodgers
can throw darts at
situation
Aaron Rodgers all
because
day.
what do you mean he's gonna be at? I know you don't have a real guarantee that Aaron Rodgers is gonna be at camp because nobody gets a real guarantee from Aaron Rodgers about anything at this
Nope.
point. Like
Not unless there's a check involved.
that's why the Jets situation went the way that it was. They wanted to ask him for certain reassurances. He thought he was going to be the only one asking for questions and getting reassurances, and that did not go the way that he anticipated that going. And so now I think in his mind he's doubling down on the control factor of how the next phase or the end of his football career is going to go. And you're honestly you're just doing the Brett Favre. You're doing the same long extended wait, watch, flame out
Even
that
worse.
Brett Favre did. I do agree. This is worse.
Yeah,
Like at
because
least
he
Favre was
isn't delivering.
at least Favre was like in Mississippi doing his own thing at his watering hole, fishing and not being bothered. And people
Probably
just
throwing darts.
Exactly. And people were
Yeah.
coming to him and saying, come back, come back, come back. Favre is like creating his own will they, won't they. It's like he wants the attention, but he's pretending like he doesn't want the attention. It's like a star that shows up with sunglasses. It's like, no, don't look at me.
Yes.
But they're
Yeah.
also confused when nobody is looking at them. So I'm throwing a dart at Pittsburgh for getting rid of your receiver, not having a quarterback, and now we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. You mean to tell me that's a better situation than drafting Michael Penix and overpaying Kirk Cousins? I don't think so.
I just printed one more picture of Aaron Rodgers, chucked it up on the board, and I threw my glass at it.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will end the intersection. We are going to leave the intersection of sports and everything else for this week. And you can join us next week at 10 o'clock as we going through all the headlines again and find the intersections that are interesting to you, me, and to Jason. So for me, Jason, and Miles, we say good night, and you can catch us on the Odyssey app and 929 The Game. Peace.